MiniMax just released their latest model, M3, and as usual, I did a lot of tests, and let me show you how it works in real life. So first of all, the benchmarks, you can see them here. I'm not going to go through them. As usual, numbers go up. If you compare to some of the leading models, they haven't put the very latest Opus 4.8, but versus 4.7, it's a little bit lower. In some places it's close. So they're kind of positioning it as maybe not the leader, but getting close to these proprietary models. So I want to show you guys how we test these models. So the way I approach the testing is that I put in a prompt on Arena, on the code Arena, and then after we generate a prompt, we get this kind of generation. So what does this give us? What this gives us is lots of visual examples where we can see how does the model perform out of the box. What it doesn't give us is this kind of understanding of the big code base, kind of a lot of closer to the task you'll do day to day. But the advantage of this is that we get to see lots of different examples and quick side-by-side examples. So in here I've got 50 prompts, 340 tests for different models. We're not going to go through all of them, but I really want to show you how it performs. So first of all, we have my favorite Golden Gate Bridge prompt, and in there, it's a very complex prompt which requires a lot of different elements, such as, for example, we've got the traffic, which does not exist here. If I'll show you some of the others, so this is Kimike 2.6, not so good, to be honest. DeepSeek, again, not so great. GLM 5.1, pretty decent, although you see it's like the structure is a little better, but you can see the traffic is not that great. But if you look at, actually, this is not maybe the best example of Opus 4.7, I think. Yeah, if I show you some of the other examples, so you get a sense. Yeah, probably Gemini 3.1 did here the best kind of in terms of the structure. Yeah, 4.6 example is pretty good. But in terms of the generation from MiniMax, this is probably not its best work. There's quite a lot of missing. You can see structures kind of approaching. So let's kind of see. The first one is not that great, to be honest, but I want to keep looking and let's see what else. I think this one was much better. So what we want here is a nice structure. We've got the sun moving, changing the light, so that's pretty good. We want like the different shades. So yeah, this is a lot better. So it's interesting. This one is a bit of a simpler prompt. You see there's a flicker there, although that's like maybe the easier part, so you can probably fix it with one iteration. But overall structure I do quite like. So what's the difference between the first two prompts is that the first one I think was more complex. It had a lot more elements to it. But the second one was a little bit simpler. So this one is an interesting example because this is a previous generation of MiniMax M2.7. And you can see how huge the jump is. All right, so this one, very nice detail, very nice structure, like pretty coherent. Here, they're kind of bits floating, not even that ambitious. It was like way too dark. Yeah, so big jump. So that's something we want to look out for, is how much of a jump there between models, and how does it compare to other models. If you look at DeepSeek here, I still prefer the M3 versus DeepSeek. I think this is slightly kind of odd structure, and I think it's not quite aligned. Versus GLM, I think this is probably a harder question. Like that is a really nice generation, I would say here. Although the structure I think is more accurate in M3. Opus 4.8. Now this is interesting. I actually not a huge fan of this. Like we need to see more examples, but this is probably not his best work. I would say the reason why I say that is that you see this kind of rigid structure. This is more accurate of Angkor Wat. So this is what it's supposed to look like. In here, this is more kind of straight. The the lines of the sky kind of look a little bit weird. Like I don't think it's best work. I'm not going to say Opus 4.8 is worse, but in this generation, at least, we can see that M3 did a good generation. And maybe at this point, I want to just say that what are we looking for here? One is that we care just about the quality of generations, right? Is it coherent? Are things put together? That's the kind of thing that I want to see. Yeah, Gemini 3.5 flash like sound. Then does it adhere to instructions correctly? So the point of this is not that you particularly care about how good this generation is or that, but we are trying to simulate how well it would adhere to your instructions. So this was a good one with Gemini 3.5 Flash. I mean, it's a good generation. Like I would say overall, it's a nice structure. There are kind of birds flying. That is quite nice. But it put in all of these extra bits, which I didn't ask for. It put in weird sound, which I hope you didn't hear. So it's a good generation, but then it did way too much. So whether you like it or not, this is kind of depends on your use case. So these are the kinds of things we want to look out for. In addition, few things I want to see as well is what I notice a lot of the time with smaller, I assume they're smaller, but maybe more vendors which are models which are kind of in the chasing group, is that a lot of their models are a little bit unstable. So once we get a good generation and then 2 more times something bad comes out. So that's what also I want to look out for. So let's keep looking at the next ones. In here we've got Sahara, and we want this kind of nice view. Oh yeah, you see kind of the bodies disappear. That's not great. The sun, you can see, is a kind of squarish. So there's some issues, but overall, like, it's not a bad composition. Like, I'll show you some worse ones. Like, so this is Kimi K 2.6, actually not too bad as well. They're all kind of in a line that's not quite, and they're kind of floating, so that's probably not the best combination. It's quite a hard prompt. You see, the difficulty here is that you need to really combine a few different elements together. So the behavior of each one, or you see this, like things like that. How different, how they're coordinated, are they moving naturally? The terrain is quite complex. So that's what I'm testing here as well, is that can it actually do these complicated things together or not? So GLM 5.1 here, normally it is one of the better ones, but I think versus this, I do prefer MiniMax M3 here, where GLM, generation was like a little bit, I mean, it's obvious, right? They're all stuck together. So coordination of different elements, it was not good. Opus 4.8. Now, let's see. First of all, the terrain is really complex. Versus if you see something like this here, it's very kind of simple, like, it's kind of cartoonish almost in some places. Here, it's much more complex. And you see each of the riders, each of the camels is pretty individual, and they're kind of attempting to move on top of the surface. So you can see them going here. So I do quite like that. And where did they go? Oh yeah, they kind of disappear a little bit if I get closer, so it's not completely perfect. But you can see the shot is really high quality. So for me, this is really top-notch generation from Opus here. 4.7, interesting, right? So it's pretty good generation overall, but complexity is lower and they're all kind of going together on the side, so it's less individual. So that is a worse generation, I would say. I think this one maybe we'll skip. And Gemini 3.1, in here, it's not a great generation considering I can't even like move the camera around. Anyway, let's keep going. So which ones would be interesting to see as well. I thought this was interesting. So what's interesting about this is that this is Cappadocia, where we have the different balloons floating. So we want some movement. We want this kind of, it's a very unusual terrain. So it's quite a lot going on. And here they are kind of moving, and it is kind of colorful. That's like pretty good. But I would say, to me, the terrain looks kind of a little bit weird, and the movement is quite static. It doesn't feel like a real scene to me. But if you compare it to M2.7, this is like a terrible generation. This is not even close. So in terms of one of our questions, how real is that jump in performance for benchmarks? I think it is like real. We can see it here as well. If we compare it to others, Kimi K2.6, I think that's probably, it's kind of less ambitious. You know, in here, there's like a whole terrain, there's like more balloons, but I do quite like this, that this is more of a, I don't know, that feels more creative to me. You know, colors more together, that feels like a little bit different to others, and it feels more alive. So it's not necessarily like miles better, but it does feel different. Yeah, DeepSeek here, I think is a pretty nice one. I'll just show you a few more. Yeah, I think this to me feels better as a scene. So you see that, to me, it feels quite tasteful. So GLM 5.1, I do quite like that. It's kind of nicely put together. Versus this, I think, feels a little bit more basic. Opus 4.8, I think that's kind of, it's interesting. I don't quite love the whole kind of terrain almost. But I would say the detail here is a bit stronger, I would say. So that's, it's quite detailed, but yeah, I would say don't love the whole scene, although the nice car is quite nice. Opus 4.7 I actually kind of like better, to be honest, here. And 3.5 flash, not bad, but yeah, as always, it's like there's quite a lot. Although maybe here's yeah, not too bad. Yeah, so I think it's kind of, we're picking those things up where it does feel like there is quite a bit of a jump, but maybe yeah, maybe not necessarily better than others. The reason I want to show you this one is that I think it points to that issue that I mentioned about stability. So this is Stonehenge, MiniMax M3. I think this is actually excellent generation in terms of like the scene is quite good. It's not like completely accurate, but it is at least a good attempt at accuracy. It looks quite nice in terms of like the shade, a lot of detail, and so on. So I think that's pretty good. Like I would put it there towards the top. And then this is another MiniMax M3 generation. You can see instantly here the kind of the quality drops, like the way the stones are laid out is less accurate. The detail is less accurate. So you can see kind of here straight away. So that's one of those things that I think points to some of the difficulty with using some of these models, is that it's not the case that you can never get great stuff out of them. I think you definitely could. And especially if you look at the benchmarks and maybe they try 10 times and they pick the best one, then I think they could really, really genuinely be up there with the best models. But considering that you can get side by side these two generations, to me, that's like a small kind of amber flag that you need to bear in mind, that maybe you need to work a bit harder to kind of get this good output. But still, I think it is an improvement over M2.7. Like I think that like some of the details here is really off, so that is definitely better than this. If we compare to others, yeah, it's probably better than Kimi 2.6. Like this doesn't really look right at all to me. Yeah, DeepSeek also not good detail. It's like much more fallen apart by now than this. Yeah, and it doesn't really look very realistic. Opus 4.net, this is actually not that good. Like I think it's kind of attempted at accuracy a bit more. and I guess the scene is better, so maybe it is the best out of these, but I've definitely seen better generations. Oh yeah, Opus 4.7 was quite an interesting one, but there's something wrong with with the viewing angle, so I can't quite show it to you well, but it was kind of an interesting generation. Yeah, Gemini, yeah, the Gemini models, yeah, is kind of interesting. Again, you see how much they do. So it really gives you a feel for how different the models are day to day if you apply the same prompt. Right, I'll show you, we'll probably start to wrap up with the 3D ones because I want to show you a few more. There's some really nice data visualizations I want to show you in a sec. So let's just kind of go through these and get to that. So this is SVG, kind of voxel, not SVG, a voxel generation. I would say this is really not that good. And this is a, we'll see some more detail on the is broken M3 2.7 unfortunately, but Kimike 2.6 here I think is more interesting, kind of denser, more detail. DeepSeek I think also better. Yeah, this one is not very good. JLM it's like a little bit more debatable, but yeah, a bit not so much. But yeah, Opus versus Opus, for example, yeah, this is like Opus is a lot better. So yeah, there's more detail. Okay, Flickr, that's not nice, but yeah, more detail. And yeah, same for Opus 4.7. I think the construction here far more ambitious, far more accurate. Flash created some movement. It likes to like do some extra stuff, which is nice in this case, but yeah, not every single time. So yeah, I think you can definitely see it is kind of not terrible by any means, but yeah, the quality of some of the generations certainly not like completely up there. I'll show you a couple more kind of not so good examples quickly. So for example, that one is Notre Dame de Paris, and even like DeepSeek here is quite a bit better. Opus 4.7, I'll just click for them, but you can see here the whole window is missing. So that's not a great generation. Another I thought was like a little bit weak is this one, where we want kind of a little bit more action here. So I think maybe lacking ambition a little bit, where we can see in others, yeah, compared to Opus, for example, yeah, that feels like a lot more going on. So maybe that's something, as I'm looking at some of these now, there are a few examples where it seems to have slightly missed ambition. So I'm kind of curious in your tests, as you use it yourself, whether you will feel like that is an issue you're encountering or not. And I think another issue we maybe picked up a little bit is whether that kind of stability. So I think those two things we should keep an eye on. Some of the kind of mini games I try to create. So this is not supposed to look like this at all. Yeah, so this is kind of, I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, let's actually, that's actually an interesting one. Yeah, so JLM is a lot better here. So I want to see a few more games. I haven't like played properly all of them, but it did seem to struggle with a couple of them. Oh, you see Opus here. Look how nice this is. Yeah, so this looks quite nice. Yeah, Opus 4.7 thinking much harder to control, is kind of laggy. But yeah, versus this, I don't even know what's meant to be happening here. So seems to be a gap here with the games. But let's play a few more. I'll tell you now, it's hard for you to say. Well, you can't say. You think I'm playing badly, but the controls here are very bad. They're kind of reversed. But at least I can see what I'm doing here. But it's not particularly compelling game, right? So Opus 4.7 controls are really good, but I don't like it's, yeah, it doesn't feel like a good game. It's just kind of a lot of barriers in front of you. Not ideal. Yeah, maybe this is, yeah, some of the gaming prompts. The reason why I include them as well is that I think, oh yeah, that's quite bad. they're still quite challenging for LLMs to really do a good job on. So that's something I'm gonna keep an eye on. Oh geez, what's happening here? Oh no. Yeah, so this like controls is one thing that is hard for you to like see, but you'll have to trust me. But yeah, the controls in the first one were quite bad, but the GLM 5.1 here is better. Yeah, the controls on 4.8, like I think it's like quite good, but could be better as well. It's like feels a bit jittery here. Oh, Flash. Oh yeah, I think Flash again tried to do too much, so it's gonna lag. Here I don't even know what's going on. So yeah, let's keep moving. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on more games in the future, because yeah, I think it's one of those areas that it's even like I'm not sure how it's interesting for you to look at these, because like they're kind of not good games. So I'm kind of hoping maybe that's kind of a metric. It's like how interesting is this segment as I try it. Oh geez, wow, that's Flash likes this crazy stuff. Yeah, not a good game, but it does move around. Oh yeah, interesting how bad Gemini 3.1 is at games. I thought it was better. That was my general impression before. So I think we can leave some of these aside. We did mention SVGs. I don't spend a lot of time on them because I think they're probably, I must say, they're probably kind of benchmarks already. So everyone seems to be just trained on SVGs, so probably not as good test anymore. But just to give you a sense, yeah, massive jump as we saw in the benchmarks there for SVG, not even close. So yeah, but GLM is nice as well. Opus is like not bad here, but not the best either. Yeah, Flash is doing the whole thing. I don't even know what's going on here. Yeah, others are like pretty good as well. So yeah, SVGs, I think probably less valid test right now. I guess if it's really bad, maybe it can tell you something, but if it's good, maybe it's not necessarily a good test anymore. So this section is interesting. This section are not the 3G generations we did, not SVGs, not games, but these are more kind of code and apps, I call them, but they're kind of basically websites, but also some data visualizations, which is completely a new section which we've created. So if you watched these videos before, you wouldn't have seen these generations. So what we want here are different kind of websites where it says experimental theater opening for opening night. So it's slightly weird generations, I would say. So I just wanted not just to do landing pages, but something else. So let's see how it does. This kind of, yeah, that does not look good to me. There's like a lot of busyness going on. I don't like when there are like 4 or 5 rows of text. It's just very hard to parse. And this doesn't do it for me. Like I don't really know what it's meant to be happening here. Yeah, fonts are bad as well. And there's a bit of flicker. So that's not a great generation. GLM 5.1, definitely nicer. Feels like it's more like a bit better laid out. You don't see this kind of myriad of text on top. So that does feel better, but not like, I'm not super impressed by this. Opus, interesting. Not loving this either, I must say. There's like some more interesting elements, but this kind of purple, I don't know if this is maybe like a bit too hard for them or something, because it's like none of them doing like great job on this part here. Opus 4.7, yeah, I would say 4.8 was better. 3.5 Flash, yeah, maybe also not so good. 5.5 High, different take, not better, but definitely different. There's kind of a lot going on in terms of, yeah, different kind of heavy elements here and so on, but feels a little bit different. So yeah, to my eye, none of them did like particularly good job. So hopefully some better ones are coming up. So let's take a look at the prompt. So here we want Children's Science Museum exhibit. So the interesting thing here is that we want it to be brighter, nicer, we want kind of some interesting elements to it and so on. And I would say to me, this looks a lot better straight away. We don't have this kind of layered text and we don't have like this heaviness. This feels like a lot better generation. This could be like a real website almost, with maybe some tweaks, but like this is pretty good from MiniMax. Like this is good, especially for one-shot UI. GLM, I would say worse, right? So this is quite clearly better. Different, feels like more designed elements, but like here that feels like just like, I know a lot of these kind of borders that you do in a mockup, maybe like silly icons, things like that. I think the MiniMax did much better. Interesting. Like, do you like MiniMax? I feel like I like MiniMax better here than Opus 4.8. Interesting, right? You'd kind of expect Opus to always, like, people really like Opus for design. And here, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like MiniMax designer I prefer. Like, to me, that feels kind of a nicer laid out design. 4.7, I think it's like slightly misshapen, but I think the whole layer, the whole kind of, I don't know, maybe it's too many colors or something. There's something like a little bit off. Yeah, definitely like hierarchies maybe a bit wrong here, but feels not too bad. Gemini 3.5 Flash, we had the video before about this on this channel. I didn't like any of its UI design, so I think that's like kind of, that's the kind of generations you get. Yeah, Opus 4.7 thinking, I would actually say better than 4.8 in here. So to me, that's kind of between, yeah, I'll have to think between those two as the best generations for this, which is interesting. In terms of at least that one example, M3 seems to be like a bit better than Opus 4.8 in this case. Let's see, I don't want to show you all of these. So, oh yeah, I want to now look at some data visualizations. It's one of those areas that I feel like it's not enough attention is being paid to this, and certainly I haven't done them yet on this channel, but I really care about it in my day-to-day life. So what I want to do is, the way it works is we give them a little bit of data, so not a lot. It's not like a data analysis job, but it's much more about just here's some data, visualize it. So here's create a HTML of day-to-day visualization, day in life visualization from this hourly activity data. This result should feel closer to a marketing graphic than a dashboard, and should make the rhythm of the day intuitively readable. So that's the kind of prompt. And the idea here is that we don't want to have just like a chart. We don't want a dashboard, right? We want to be like maybe a reading magazine or something like that. And like we want to have this visualization as part of a newspaper. That's the kind of idea we're going for. So let's see how they did. First of all, like one thing LLMs really do is like do all of this stuff, which I don't like at all. Like there's just too much going on. I want to go and I want to see the visualization. Like the title here is nice, but then there's like here's stuff here, but then I need to scroll to see visualization. So I don't love that. But I think it did like okay job, like things obviously coming out of the frame. But I think the whole visualization is not too bad. Like I definitely feel seen worse from LLMs. I also don't like when they do these kinds of dashboardy things like that. I'm not sure what this gives. Like, does this give you anything? I don't know. I feel like I just want to read this. So let's see how this did. Kimi K2.6. Kimi K2.6 is one of those models that is like, it always surprises me. It always does something like a little bit different to other models. So that, I wouldn't say that's better. So I don't really understand, like I guess it's kind of showing the shape. I think we could have done a bit stronger job here. like especially with colors, very hard to tell apart which one is which. And maybe as I'm moving, it should be showing me what I'm looking at, but it's a kind of a creative way to visualize this. But in terms of the shape of the page, like, you look at this and then it kind of, yeah, it's like not how you would do it. Actually, it's interesting. Here he did more kind of closer to the what MiniMax did, and some more. Okay, and some more. All right. So he kind of went all out and made all bets at the same time. Maybe not the best idea if you're asking for one. In here, DeepSeek did much more straightforward job, which I appreciate. Although some of the visuals here, I think, are a bit worse, to be honest. So like things don't super aligned, like, but at least it's not like created like way too much. GLM, I quite like these kind of gradients. I think it keeps it lighter on the eye, so I appreciate that. I think I feel like GLM, I don't know, maybe not sure like everyone would agree, but I feel like this does feel nicer. Maybe obviously like things not overlapping. Yeah, in here, I think it's also like, the way you do the axis, like shouldn't it set up to like 100%? Like how come it kind of, not sure about the data visualization here, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't be a bit like this. So I'm not even sure that this even makes sense. So maybe that's actually inaccurate. Qwen 3.7 marks. Now, we haven't seen this model before. I've done like a few tests on this. So I want to see more of this model. And this is pretty cool, right? So this is like a very different take on the visualization. I kind of like the feel of it. I think you need more precision when you're doing charts like these to kind of show what are we looking at here. So I kind of like the vibe of it, but technical execution, I think, is still lacking because, if I need to scroll down, I think it's missing some labels, but if I need to scroll down to see like what I'm looking at, that's not good. But I think that's actually a really, really nice job. Opus 4.7 here, solid. Like, I think this is good. Like, you don't love, like, again, way too much vertical space. So if I kind of did that tighter, I think it tells the story nicer in terms of kind of saying where the peaks and troughs are and so on. So I think the visual understanding, I think Opus did well. If you're looking at MiniMax, I think that is kind of not the best one, to be honest, but kind of middle of the pack, I would say, out of the ones that we looked at. So yeah, that is interesting to me, like how well LLMs do that kind of visualization. We're gonna have a look at a few more. So this one is poetic but rigorous HTML chart. How about that? About the timing of Kyoto cherry blossoms. So calendar style visual and so on. So, and again, we give some data. It's not a lot of data. So the data analysis is not the point here. So let's have a look. And you see with these kinds of style of prompts, we're also testing the creativity and to see how they can kind of interpret the data. So we're kind of measuring different things as well here. Again, I don't love like how much physical space this takes, but it's a pleasing page, and we kind of can see it kind of presents information reasonably well, I would say here, and interesting choice of like y-axis. It works, so as we kind of can see it's early. It's a little bit unusual, so let's see what others do. I kind of like it. I like this chart. It kind of tells the story nicely in terms of how the time of the blossom is changing. Not sure why it's bulging these. Is it just like the later ones? But other than that, that's kind of an interesting take. Kimi K 2.6, again, very kind of creative. Feels kind of very pleasant, but a little bit useless, I must say. Like, this is not helpful. Like, this doesn't give me any information. I have to read it, so that doesn't help. This is very simple, very basic, and again seems to have like gone out all guns blazing on everything. So yeah, I don't particularly love this. So as in, I love the style. It's a pleasing website, but not good at presenting information. DeepSeek feels like very like, here it is, right? So it's like, you want creative? Let me draw you a squiggly line. There's no like long pages, no fluffy stuff. It's very to the point. So yeah, which is, appreciate, but I don't really understand this. I think you could, if like maybe it's a little bit too creative for me. I mean, maybe if I spend more time looking at it, I would get what it's showing. I mean, I do get what it's doing, but yeah, it's not the best, most intuitive way to understand. GLM, oh, I don't know what's happening here. I feel like something's gone wrong with the HTML that it did. But if you're just going to judge it by the chart, it's kind of the same chart as before, but actually I think MiniMax did a better decision to kind of rotate it. I think it does make sense. This is also not bad. Like, it's kind of showing the like when it was falling and so on. But the timeline is interesting in the other one. So yeah, that's a kind of interesting idea. Yeah, Opus 4.7 here. I feel like you need to do a lot of work looking at this chart. So yeah, not ideal, but it does kind of present the information. Not my favorite, but yeah, it's like, I think this rotation was a good call. Now I look at it more, a bit unorthodox, but better. Yeah, this feels very kind of technical presentation of the data, which I think not quite in the spirit. This doesn't feel like the poetic thing that we've asked for. Quen 3.7, actually I do quite like this. That is nice in terms of like presenting the information like this. And I'm guessing you're showing like the later ones as darker, so I guess it kind of tells you that picture. Oh yeah, and the same idea that we saw from here, but I think MiniMax did a better job presenting that. So yeah, not bad. I like that kind of idea of the chart. 4.7 thinking, yeah, actually not a bad job. There's like a bit of overlap, and again, it's kind of kept it vertical like this. So in others it was rotated. So I think it's a bit harder to read that it was actually going like later. Yeah, shouldn't be that. Oh no, it's earlier. Oh yeah, earlier. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah. You know what? Like, I feel like MiniMax did really good job here. Like, I think this is probably the best one-ish out of them. So yeah, I like that. I think this is a good job. Let's see. Geez, we have so many, 50 prompts. I always get way too excited about these generations, and generate maybe a bit too many. So let's just flip through these quickly. So this is Nobel Prize categories and laureates and how it evolved over time. So MiniMax here. I'm not gonna explain it too much. Let's just see what it looks like, and let's maybe make some snap judgments. Again, yeah, DeepSeek is very like to the point. GLM is closer to the point. It's kind of between these kind of more flowery ones. And yeah, Gemini is a little bit more to the point. Quen 3.7 Max is quite nice. Like, I actually do like this. I think that's probably the best one I've seen. So it's kind of showing the numbers nicely. And Opus 4.7 thinking also showing the numbers quite nicely. Like, I do quite like that. So yeah, Quen and Opus, that is nicer. Here, I feel like that's like a bit heavy for me to see. So I prefer Quen's here, I would say. Yeah, so I think I'm pleasantly surprised in terms of data visualization. I definitely have a lot of like quibbles in terms of how like certain elements, certain things that they do generally. I'll just show you a few more while I'm talking, but this is a US $1 billion weather and climate disasters. But I'll just share some general observations. So start kind of from the end. I'm pleasantly surprised. I think this is like really, really solid models, and especially MiniMax. I'm quite pleased with how good it's at presenting the data, kind of building the websites, creating good visual, creating the spirit of it as well. It's better than like DeepSeek at like interpreting it more broadly. If you are using DeepSeek here, you probably just want like, I want this precise thing to execute, and that's kind of it. Sometimes you definitely want that, so that's good. But yeah, it's not gonna like build you a nice page. And I think it's a yeah, so which is a good sign. And even like quite often you saw that I would compare it to Opus. This I've got test 4.7, 4.8, maybe a bit better. I haven't tested it on these prompts yet, but it's a sometimes it would take me a bit of time to even decide which one is better, and sometimes I'll go with MiniMax. So I think that is interesting. I think it's noteworthy that this is the case. I would still say like Opus is noticeably better, but not like every time. It's definitely not one of those where it's like, oh yes, it's hands down better. If you look at some of the kind of 3D generations that we did at the beginning, I think Pixie is more mixed. So this is actually quite a nice one here. So I do really like it, better than some of the others. But yeah, like Opus would be generally better here, apart from this weird thing. Yeah, we also saw some generations that are not so good, and especially like the games where it seems to have particularly fallen down. So it does look like, yeah, this was one of the MiniMax's games, which, yeah, sorry if you are struggling to see anything there, I am. So some of the specialty games were pretty bad. So it's interesting, it could be that particularly spend a lot of time on the UI, but not so much time on maybe other areas. So it could be that kind of that spikiness that the models have certainly really applies in spades here. And look, if you don't care, which I don't particularly personally care about the 3D generations, I think it's a nice way to compare the models. But if you don't care about it, then and you just want to do front-end work, then maybe that's one of the better models. Certainly out of the kind of Chinese open source models. And they are open sourcing it, I understand. I think they haven't released the weights yet. But if you can get this as a cheap open source model, then yeah, why not? I think it will do a good job. But yeah, I think few things to pay attention to is that kind of, does it cover your use cases well in terms of the kind of work that you do? Does it have this kind of spikiness for your use cases or not? Or does it have any kind of stability issues that you're not happy with? So my expectation, my kind of prediction of how it might behave in real life for your projects is that in some cases it would do like almost state-of-the-art job. In some cases wouldn't do such a good job. And then the stability would be like a little bit up and down. So that's probably what we tend to see. But it's really nice to see that kind of progress. And certainly like if you see the side-by-side of M3 and M2.7, I think the progress is massive. So yeah, I think if you liked M2.7, it feels like M3, you should enjoy that model. So we've seen a lot of tests. I really encourage you to try these models yourself. Don't just read the benchmarks, don't just listen to me or other people. A good way to do it is to use the Arena. Go on the Arena website, try things out, and in there, you can put them in your prompt, you get the generation, so you get this kind of really nice feel out of trying these models out. Hope you enjoyed this overview, and see you in the next one.